Jet Set Go. Here at Ready Jet Set Go, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in travels. And obviously, there are some instances probably you have lost your wallet, or you have lost your passport, or you have been detained. And that's can be really, really scary because, things like that is traumatic in some sense. So I am a clinical hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner. So obviously we want to, teach you like how to navigate all those kind of things so that you can avoid this trauma that can happen to you. So our guest tonight is actually one of the top 10 relationship coach by Yahoo Finance. And she's a TV host of Bravo's international show called Love Without Borders. So our guest tonight is Erica Angelo. Hello, Erica. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I know you have traveled a lot. So having been all over the world, um, what actually got you to the travel itch?
Oh, that is such a great question. I never one had this dream to travel the world. I was not that child who, yes, this is all by like circumstance and learning myself and just responding to adventure and just taking chances after chance. My first time I traveled, it was thrown on me. I was with a friend and we were supposed to work on some music. I was wanting to become a singer. And so I was supposed to fly to New York and we were going to work on music. And they were like, I got a movie role in Italy and you're going to come as my assistant. And I was like, we're going to Rome, Italy. I'd never been out of the country before. And I mean, to me, Italy is one of my favorites, even though I live here in the south of France. Italy has such a special place in my heart. And so I just remember going, wow. And it was just one situation after the next where these opportunities presented itself. I fell in love with a British guy many, many years ago. And because my career was more mobile, he was like, you can come out here to England. And so I moved to England for a year. And it was just like one situation after that where opportunities presented themselves in different sort of ways. And I had a a reconcile with, am I going to take that chance? Am I going to be courageous enough to say yes? Or am I going to stay in my comfort zone? And so I've just conditioned myself to, when things feel right intuitively, to just say yes and go on the adventure. And I'm telling you what, it makes life very rewarding and free and exciting. And it makes me feel alive when I did these kind of things.
Oh, wow. Like, so did you learn how to speak Italian?
No, I mean, I wasn't there very long. It's the same thing with living in France. These languages are, unless you already speak another language, they can be kind of complicated to learn. But I learned little words here and there to get me by. That I think that's a big secret. Learn enough to get you by. And most countries, whether it's Bali, whether it's France or Europe or France or Italy or Germany, if they see you just making a little bit of effort by saying thank you or hello, it means the world to them. It shows them that you're trying. So that's some advice I would offer anyone. Like, learn a couple of words just to show the people there that you're making an effort.
Okay, very well noted. So, what were the unexpected surprises you have had working on international film production that you have not anticipated? I know that you have been in this a TV show, Love Without Borders.
Well, here is the crazy thing, Lori. We were filming this during COVID.
Oh,
You can imagine we would show up at an airport, and I remember we showed up in Panama and none of us spoke Spanish, and every country had a different rule. So every country had an app that you had to have downloaded on your phone. Every country had a different set of documents that they needed you to upload. And then you would have to show up at the country and pray to God that your internet would work so that you could show them the app. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you in the country. If you didn't fill out the right paperwork ahead of time, you couldn't get into the country. And then I had to I can't tell you how many, what are they called? PCR tests I had to do every country. It was like, and you know, some countries, I think Ireland, I think I went to Ireland 3 times. I went to Panama 4 times for filming. And every time they're putting you in the nose with the thing. And then someone on the crew would get COVID. So they'd shut the whole filming down because they couldn't expose everyone else, which mean you got more tests done. So it was just constant. It was on top of the stress of constantly traveling and filming and being on a TV show and jet lag and all the things that comes with. We had COVID on top of it. So that created a whole other world of problems where sometimes while we were filming, I was just like in the back of my mind going, are we really going to accomplish this, or are we going to have to shut this down? Because, you know, we would get setback after setback, which is completely unexpected for all of us.
Oh my God. Like I have had guests who were traveling during the COVID, but they were traveling by themselves. But you were working, so you were together with other people and you cannot control where they go. And so like that's understandable. Like, you know, there are chances that they're gonna get COVID or you're gonna get COVID or, you know, whoever else, or maybe the camera guy who's very important or the director. But that's really unbelievable. Like, you know, you have to stop so that, you know, you can continue again because like you have to wait till the person is better, right? My
Yeah,
gosh.
I mean, there were times that I would show up to a country and then the whole crew would get shut down because one person would get COVID. And so then they'd have to send me to another country and film because that crew was okay. It was just like bouncing around from country to country. And sometimes they would hold me and just say, let's get everyone through this. But I just remember the producer just begging me and saying, Erica, please, you're the host of our show. Please be careful. And thank God I didn't get COVID the whole time while filming. I was one of, I think almost everyone else did. I was the only person, and I was the one traveling the entire show through the whole America portion and the whole international portion. And I was very fortunate that I never got COVID. Well, the reality was I had gotten it before I filmed the TV show. I'd
Oh my,
gotten it in Bali, Indonesia first. So maybe I just kicked it out of my system and never got it again, thankfully.
yeah, lucky you. I've heard people who have had it 3 times.
I had it twice. I have to say I was one of the VIPs who got it first before it became COVID. It was spreading in Bali before it hit the US. And so it was a whole long story, but needless to say, my mother in Texas was like in tears going, why does my daughter have this consistent fever for weeks and can't get out of her bed? And I was seeing doctors in Indonesia. No one could figure out what was going on with me. And then we find out a month later, there's this thing called COVID. And I was like, so that's what that was. And then I got it again right before I was leaving Bali.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
just so happy that you didn't caught it when you were traveling because like you were so exposed, taking the plane all over, being at the airport. Yeah, you're the most luckiest person, like, you know, to be not able to get it. That's scary actually. When you, if I were you, I would be scared because like, you know, those were the times it was really like at the peak.
Yes, yes. No, it was wild. With everything else, that was another additive where you're just like, what else can we throw into the mix?
Okay, all right. So you have lived in many, many places. So what made you decide to move yourself around as a work nomad?
It wasn't anything intentional. I saw other people doing it and I just remember admiring them, seeing that sense of freedom that they could just go to any country that they wanted to and live and be able to support themselves. I would watch other people do this, but inside I was like, I'm not built that way. I don't have the courage to do that. That's not me. I need my routine and I need this and I need that. But secretly, I wish I wanted to do it. Like I can't even say that I wanted to. I just admired them and wish that I had had the courage to do what they did. I didn't realize that I actually did have the courage to do it until someone said, I was in France for a month and I said, oh, I'm going back to Los Angeles, but I'm over it. I've lived in LA for so many years. I don't want to get back in the rat race. And I remember someone saying to me, then don't go back to America. Why do you have to go back? And I was like, are you crazy? Like, this is my country. Of course I'm going back. This is where my family is. Like, and they said, no, most of your business is run on Zoom. It's run on YouTube. So you actually don't need to go back. There's nothing holding you there. That's just your own choice. And when they kind of took those kind of like excuses away from me, I was faced with myself, and it was just like, if anything's holding me back, it's just me. I can't blame circumstances. This is just my own conscious choice of being afraid and not doing anything about it. So I did. I just started. I went to from France. I went to Bali, Indonesia, fell in love. And then I went to Thailand, and I really liked Thailand. And that became my journey.
Oh my God. And so, why did you choose Indonesia and Thailand? Because, like, I would imagine, okay, you want to be going closer to maybe Costa Rica. They're much more closer, or Mexico. There are a lot of expatriates in Mexico as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't far enough. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's like you can just jump on a plane and it's right there. Like, that to me wasn't a real risk. That was just like doing a miniature vacation. To me, there was no risk involved with that. That didn't require any courage to move to Mexico, you know? And Costa Rica, I don't know, wasn't on my radar. And it was when I was in France. I have a dear friend who she's become like a sister to me. She's from Australia, and she suggested Bali. Bali was never on my radar ever. And she said, I think that your personality and your quest for inner healing and personal development, she said, I think that Bali would really resonate with you. And so I asked a bunch of friends, and it was half and half. I had some friends who said, Erica, you are not made for Bali. You love your stilettos. You love for your pretty clothes, and you don't like to get dirty, and you're a girly girl. And then there were other friends, they were like, you're such this wild soul, and you're adventurous, and you're free. Bali's perfect for you. So I'll never forget the first time I went. I normally, most of my life, I live through my intuition. And when it came to Bali, I didn't get that like hit of inspiration. I didn't feel that divine presence that was just like, yes, this is for you. I felt nothing. It was just a choice. And I'll never forget when I just got online. I didn't tell anybody. I just booked a flight, and I was like, I'm going to move to Bali. And I remember calling someone and saying, I'm moving to Bali. And they were like, you what? Are you crazy? And the minute I landed there, it was just absolute joyful chaos. And I just remember being so scared and timid. I wasn't really prepared for it. And I just remember thinking, like, these people are so happy and they have so much joy that it became addictive to me. I was just like, this is phenomenal.
So did they treat you differently because you were American?
Oh, the Indonesians are they're my favorite people on the entire planet. They are the most welcoming, joyful, accepting, loving people I know. They were wonderful to me. And then Thailand came because it was a retreat. I was supposed to be a guest speaker and host, and they were hosting it in Thailand. And they said, if you want to be a part of this, you'll have to come out to Thailand. So I went out to Thailand. I think I lived there for like 2 to 3 months out in Thailand.
Okay, all right. No, I'm loving your stories because, like, you have a lot of experience. Like, I talk to a lot of people, and then, like, it's different for you because you actually like delve into the idea of living there. Some people just travel, but you actually have the experience of being there. Amazing. So, if you were to give some advice to those who would like to work overseas on a project, what would you advise them?
Well, I mean, it's tricky because you can't technically work in these countries unless you have your own business.
Mm.
So I would say if you want to live abroad and you don't have your own business, then get a freelancing job from the States, because these countries, Indonesia, even in Europe, they really don't want you. They frown upon you taking jobs from their own people who paid into the system. So I would say don't go there looking for a job. Make sure you have one lined up in the United States or online before you go there and make a life there.
Yeah, that's very valuable information because like some people will say like, oh my God, I'm gonna be working in a hostel or something. And so yeah.
No, you're not like, especially like Indonesia is like, no, those jobs belong to the locals. And so you have no business taking their jobs. And this is how they feel in France too. You know, in France, it's, you know, to have my visa out here, the agreement is that, you know, I work for myself and I bring in income based on my own business and not to get a job here in France.
Okay. Well, I think that's very noble of them to take care of their own people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So you traveled many, many places in Europe, in Asia, and even in Australia. So what else is included in your travel bucket list?
Oh, I want to go to Japan so bad. I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to South Africa. I still want to go to Costa Rica. There's so many more places I want to go. The world is so big. I feel like I've seen so much of Europe, and now I'm like, now I want Japan. Now I want New Zealand. Definitely Africa.
Okay. All right. So based from what you're telling me, you really like traveling, but out of curiosity, so do you think you can live with somebody who thinks that vacation is going to Miami?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. That is a no-go. That is not a vacation. That is a brief visit. That is, I'm like, no, 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 no. That for me personally, if someone was like, let's live in America and we're just gonna go to Miami for a week, I'm like, no, that's not, no, no. Did I say no? Because what I meant to say was no.
To ask them because some people they think vacation is going to California or Hawaii. That's the maximum that they can get because that's still a part of the United States.
Well, I mean, here's the thing to America. I have to say the Americans, we don't realize the reputation we have in Europe and other countries, but they make fun of us because they're like most Americans have never left America. And which I like to defend our country and say, yes, but your tiny little country can be plugged into one of our states. Like we have a massive country. And so there is lots to explore there. But for me, travel is going outside of my comfort zone, which is my own country, and seeing other cultures and hearing other people's perspectives and seeing their way of life and testing myself to see like if I'm all talk or if I can roll up my sleeves and go on the adventure.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So, thank you so much for those kind of information that you have shared. Everything is taken noted. I'm sure the people who loves to travel and be a nomad somewhere are gonna take your advice seriously. So, in this talk show, you can be your own Rick Steves, Joseph Rosendo, Peter Greenberg, or Samantha Brown of your own story with your own twist. We are looking for resource speakers who are either professionals in the industry or like a travel enthusiasts just like us, and you can tell us your story. And so just give me a holler so we can have you in the show. So again, thank you so much, Erica, for this opportunity, and then we'll see you soon. Bye bye.